我爱你们. Can you show us some of your Chinese? Can we get a ni hao?
Ni hao.
Mind introducing yourself? You can say like where you're from and what you're majoring in.
I'm from Brooklyn, business administration.
From Palestine. I study computer engineering.
From San Diego, and I'm a neuroscience major.
I'm a local here from LA, and my major is Chinese.
I'm from Taiwan. My major is finance.
From the Bay Area.
From the Bay Area, I'm looking to go into character design.
I'm in biology, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
I'm from India, computers and biology.
I come from Los Angeles, California. I'm majoring in sociology.
From Houston, Texas. I just graduated from UCLA with a neuroscience degree.
I come from Los Angeles too, and I'm majoring in biochemistry.
Hi, I'm Yair, and my major is applied linguistics.
From China too, and my major is transportation.
How many languages do you speak?
I speak 4 languages. English, and the other 3 are from India, so it's Hindi, Gujarati, and Marathi. I learned 3 of them in school, and 1 of them is my mother tongue.
Probably just 2, English, Japanese. Once upon a time, I wanted to work in Japan before I knew all the nitty-gritty details of being a doctor overseas.
I speak 3 languages, Arabic, English, and French.
Currently 2, English and Spanish. I learned it from my parents. They learned to speak at home in Spanish.
Fluent in English, and right now I'm currently learning Arabic. Well, I'm Muslim. Arabic is our original text. I wasn't born into Islam. I converted. So by me learning, it allowed me to be accepted by the community.
I speak English and Spanish. Between my brother and I, we talk English, but within my parents, it's purely Spanish.
Fluent English, understand Spanish enough to live in a Spanish-speaking country, but not enough to teach someone. My mother is Puerto Rican, so I learned it at home.
What do you think the most important 3 languages to learn in 2023 would be?
That's a good question. English, Spanish, Mandarin. You see a lot of Asian culture everywhere across America. Very influential.
I think it'd be Chinese, English, maybe Spanish?
Cantonese, English, or Japanese.
Cantonese, interesting.
It's one of the languages that are like well spoken around here.
English, Spanish, and I don't know the last one. English is like the most important language in the world.
English, Chinese, French. A lot of countries in Europe just say French. Most beautiful language in the world.
I would say English, Chinese. Other languages kind of like the same.
Spanish, English, Mandarin?
Yeah, I would say those.
Yeah, I just know a lot of people who speak it.
Yeah, there's like a large population that speaks Spanish.
Apart from English, Spanish or French, it's like the top language in UN and stuff, so it has to be important.
Definitely gonna put Spanish up there. Gotta put English in the top 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably Mandarin. Spanish is mostly just from my personal experience. That's what I've been exposed to a lot. I've also been exposed to a lot of Mandarin. You know, China's a huge country, a lot of influence, a lot of development going on. One of my exes was Chinese, so I learned a little bit from her as well.
Can you show us some of your Chinese?
No.
Can we get a ni hao?
Ni hao?
There you go.
I can do that one. I can do that one.
Spanish. Chinese. Arabic. This year, I'm going to try to learn Korean. I'm like a fan of Korean music and shows. Be one day visit. Be like an English teacher abroad.
Spanish, just because we're so close to Mexico. Across the world, Mandarin is very commonly spoken. I think English is obviously one of the best, which is nice because it's the only one I could speak.
America is the most marketed country across the world. Fashion, sport, sound, art, or whatever the case may be, there's some type of influence in other places of the world. Understanding English will allow you to be able to tap into that. Maybe you have a voice somewhere and you don't have it in your country, but you come to America and you might be able to have that voice in America.
I know people that's from Germany. Before they came here, they speak fluent English. They teach that in the school system. That alone just tells you how important English really is.
And it's one of the easiest languages to learn, honestly.
Yeah.
There's NBA players that didn't know how to speak English and learn through movies.
People in Taiwan, if you ask them like, oh, is learning English important? They'll all say yes. How do you feel like learning other foreign languages is useful for like your career?
Honestly, in the business sense, Mandarin is one of the most spoken languages. I've always felt the importance that at some point in my life I want to dedicate time to learning Mandarin, and I understand the type of dedication it takes. You really have to set time aside and really make it a priority.
I would think so, especially like French, China, I know they're also doing pretty good. It's pretty important to learn these languages so you can communicate with other animators.
Yeah, actually I think it would be helpful because let's say you go into a business and then they need someone to talk a certain language and you speak that language, they refer you to that person. More doors open.
Yeah, I've been applying for jobs. A lot of the times they actually require that you are bilingual, particularly in Spanish.
Yes, I do. Be able to connect with a lot more high up researchers or professors that maybe don't speak your language. Do you feel you've ever had the thought to learn Chinese?
I may, but it's very difficult. Maybe in the future.
I think the IT field has a lot of Chinese people, so that might help in communicating, because if we're in computer science field, then I think that would be beneficial to learn Chinese.
Not seriously, no. Just because I know it's quite a commitment and I'm not sure if I have the time or willpower to fully learn it.
Chinese class? Maybe I have to, if it fits in my schedule, yeah, I would.
Yeah, I have like my own like Chinese textbook, so I can start like self-learning that like on the side. Even him,
yeah,
he's also learning, so
yeah,
we could like practice together.
你会说中文吗？
我会说一定是中文，觉得学习很难。
What made you want to major in Chinese?
I knew I wanted to do medicine because I'm also a pre-med student, but I also wanted to find a way to help a diverse amount of people. I think it's very useful because I worked at my community college. I found myself with an elderly woman who only spoke Mandarin. She needed to find a class, and thankfully I had just learned in Chinese class like about different classes and locations, so I was able to help her out. So I'm like, wow, my major is very useful. It's like drawn me to even wanting to learn just some dialects like Cantonese, Fujianese, Shanghainese. Taiwanese too.
Taiwanese, there you go.
Hokkien. You live in Taiwan?
Yeah, I live in Taiwan.
That's awesome. I want to study abroad there.
What's the thinking behind going to Taiwan instead of China?
I think it would be the politics, the whole process of getting a visa, a new bank account, and it also seems like nicer also because of the nature. It's a small island, so I feel like I'll be able to just get around within like a day. And China is just so huge. I think I would enjoy it more like as a vacation rather than to study.
I also want to move to Taiwan one day. Taiwan's just generally more friendlier to foreigners and everything. I feel like I wouldn't be as scared.
Well, I actually grew up in China, so I learned Mandarin before learning English.
So have you ever tried to actually teach your friends any Chinese?
I have actually, and they really enjoyed it. We have a friend from Iran who actually spoke really good Mandarin. She was on point with everything. It was really crazy.
I was not there when she was teaching everyone, so I haven't, but that's definitely something that I'd be interested in.
For Americans learning Chinese, what's the difficult parts?
I think definitely getting the tones right, because you could say the same thing but in different tones and it can mean completely different things. That's definitely the hardest part about Mandarin.
So I think the hardest part being persistent, because Chinese is such a difficult language. It's they don't have a set alphabet. Every single word has its own character, and you have to be persistent within practicing the strokes. Opinions are very difficult as well. The a, o, e, o, u.
所以你听到外国人他们说中文的时候，你有什么感觉？
Feel they're friendly.
Quite cool because Chinese is very hard to learn. Must put a lot of effort on it.
Am I the first person to speak Chinese to you?
Yeah.
Really?
Actually, for me, it's not the first. I think it's more than my expectation. They usually can say ni hao, like greeting to me and thank you.
Do you feel like a lot of Westerners want to learn Chinese?
Yeah, I think maybe because I've been watching some stand-up and people there just can't speak Chinese and very basic.
So do you feel like as an American, because you know English, learning a foreign language is not as much a motivation? I do. I feel like if I lived somewhere across the world, I'd be more motivated to learn English just because it's so prominent.
Being from Brooklyn, I went to high school with 4,000 kids, and we had so many different cultures and different people that I interacted with on a daily basis. That's what kind of influenced me wanting to understand multiple languages and knowing the power in it. We don't put at the forefront of our learning system, here we learn Spanish, but oftentimes people don't even want to go to Spanish class,
The people that I grew up around and the people I've interacted with are mainly people of color. A lot of their parents are first-gen immigrants, so there's, a large emphasis placed on learning multiple languages.
People come from all over the world. When you speak their language, you feel more connected to them than only English.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the people of Taiwan?
Hi, Taiwan. I'm hoping to be there one day in my future.
Stay cool. I don't know.
I think it might be good if you learn English. Probably helpful.
You guys are welcome here. You can pull up. We want you guys to come over here and study and stuff like that.
I used to play badminton. A lot of good players are from Taiwan.
Hello. Much love. Hope everybody's doing well, having a great day, having a great summer.
美国还是蛮好玩的，而且这边的天气特别好。
I want to visit there sometime because I haven't been back in a long time.
When I come to Taiwan, I love to dive into the culture. I'd love to have a great time with somebody that could really show me a good time. So whenever I go to Taiwan, please, just holla at your boy.
I'm big on food, so I really want to try the food out there.
As y'all can see.
You know what I'm saying? I want
And the women.
And the women.
And the women.
It's important, food and women.
Right.